Good evening and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingney Team Hoki bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include Manipur violence, a result of BJP's wrong policies, says MPCC. 4 arrested for threatening Manipur CM on social media. Liang Mai Forum condemns inhuman and brutal action of NSCN IM, demands justice. Los Angeles fire, death toll reaches 24, over 12,000 structures damaged, nearly $275 billion loss in Los Angeles. News in details. Flatly rejecting Works Minister Govindas Konthosam's assertion that Congress Party has been scamming to perpetuate the Manipur crisis, the Manipur Pradesh Congress Committee MPCC has claimed that the protracted violent crisis seen in Manipur is a result of the BJP government's wrong policies, including foreign policy. Speaking to a media person at Congress Bhavan, BT wrote here today, MPCC Vice President and Chief Spokesman Hareswar Goswami slammed the statement made by Govindas at a Gangai function held at Chinikon Kabui village as baseless. At Chinikon village, the Works Minister reportedly stated that the Congress Party has been working to perpetuate the Manipur crisis. Govindas Konthosam was a key member of Congress Party for a very long time, and he served as a minister of the Congress government several times. Govindas Konthosam was a key member of Congress Party for a very long time, and he served as a minister of the Congress government several times. Although he even held the post of MPCC president, he defected to BJP, proving that he is a self-seeking man, Hareswar said. On May 6, 2023, CLP leader O.E. Bobby called Chief Minister N. Biren over phone and asked for a thorough discussion of the violent conflict, which erupted on May 3 before it escalated. The Chief Minister convened a meeting on the same day at 2 p.m. at the CM Secretariat, and the meeting deliberated on the crisis, the MPCC Vice President said. Since the initial days of the violent crisis, the Congress Party has been giving suggestions to the government to contain and resolve the crisis, but the state government did not pay any heed, he said. Whereas the Congress Party has been demanding a thorough deliberation on the crisis in the State Assembly, the BJP government does not want to discuss the issue on the floor of the House, he continued. The Congress Party sought an appointment with the Prime Minister to discuss the crisis, but the BJP government did not allow the Congress delegation to meet the Prime Minister, Hareswar Goswami said. Nonetheless, the Congress Party called on governors and submitted memorandums seeking an early solution to the crisis. Even today, the Congress Party is open to any joint initiative with the BJP government toward restoring peace and normalcy in the state, he said. The BJP government has written a dark chapter in the history of Manipur. Instead of going for Ningol Chakoba with all the fineries, many women clad in black attires fasted on the day of Ningol Chakoba. This was unprecedented in the history of Manipur, he said. With buffer zones now dividing the hills and the valley, Manipur has been virtually bifurcated. Many people have been killed and more than 60,000 people have been rendered homeless. These are results of the BJP government's misplaced policies, he said. The killing of innocent citizens with weaponized drones and the disappearance of a citizen from inside a military station are all happening during the incumbent BJP government, he pointed out. Even Union Home Minister Amit Shah has been making contradictory statements on the Manipur crisis. He first said that illegal immigrants were behind the Manipur violence, but later he claimed that the violence is a result of ethnic conflict. With Amit Shah now claiming that the violence is an ethnic conflict, there is a strong possibility of the Commission of Inquiry coming out with a report that the crisis is an ethnic conflict, the MPCC Vice President said, reacting to Govindas Konthosam's statement that the Congress Party won both the Lok Sabha seats of Manipur because of the violent conflict. Hareswar Goswami asserted that the Congress Party won the 2 Lok Sabha with huge margins because people knew very well their suffering was a result of the BJP government's wrong policies, and people were fed up of BJP's false propaganda. He went on to question Govindas Kontozam's inability to fix an appointment with the Prime Minister to discuss the Manipur crisis, despite being a cabinet minister. He further questions BJP's inability to take up any action against the BJP ministers and MLAs belonging to Kuki community who have been openly campaigning for disintegration of Manipur. The Cybercrime Department of the Manipur Police, in cooperation with Karnataka Police, arrested 4 persons from Bengaluru on charges of uploading threatening social posts against Manipur Chief Minister and Biren Singh. The 4 individuals were identified as Tiyam Dharmendra, TH Roman Elias Nauba, Ningombam Dinku, and Malim Nganba Laithangbam Elias Malim. These 4 were the admins and moderators of the Facebook page Manipur News Group 2024. Tiyam Dharmendra Singh, who works at a private company in Bengaluru, was arrested along with 2 mobile phones from the RM Jet NXT building, Whitefield Road, Bengaluru. He was remanded into judicial custody till January 17 after producing him before the judicial magistrate in Imphal West on Tuesday. He was arrested on January 9th and brought to Imphal by Imphal Police after acquiring transit remand from the court. However, 3 others were released on bail. Action against these individuals began when the police came across the threatening viral post on the Facebook page Manipur News Group 2024. It was uploaded by a handle by the name Punsi Minaigi, allegedly operated by Dharmendra. The post allegedly had an offensive remark against Manipur CM and Biren Singh. His Facebook post directly threatened and defamed the Chief Minister of Manipur and other MLAs, provoking the general public and inciting common people to destabilize and revolt against the state government in Manipur, the court submission added. The Liangmay Naga Indigenous Forum LNIF has strongly condemned the inhuman and brutal actions of armed GPR and NSCN IM cadres under the command of YK Achan EO, Maram Thanglal region, against the Liangmay women at Marenmai village under Kangpopi district, Manipur, on the evening of January 12. In a release issued on Monday, the forum demands immediate action to ensure justice for the victims and that the perpetrators must be booked and subjected to court-martial punishment. The forum further demanded that the GPRN must present their stance on the incident and take responsibility before the situation escalates further. Failing to adhere to these demands, any further consequences will rest solely on the GPRN, says LNIF. In regards to the incident, the forum alleged that at approximately 7 p.m., more than 20 armed individuals stormed into the village and targeted 6 innocent women and 2 men while they were having dinner in their homes. Thereafter, the NSCN IM cadres demanded that the women leave their house immediately. When the women asserted that they would comply only if directed by the Liangmay Naga Council and requested time to contact Liangmay civil society organizations, the armed individuals responded with threats and violence, the release stated. The cadres claimed that their government would not tolerate anymore anyone standing in their way, and then they proceeded to thrust the women with can sticks, kick them with heavy boots, and strike them with gun butts, leaving them bleeding and humiliated, it added. LNIF claimed that the attack also involved tearing the women's clothes and attempts at sexual assault, amounting to a heinous violation of their dignity and rights. The forum expresses its deepest outrage over such acts of violence, which degrade the sanctity of human rights and the principles of coexistence. Whatever the underlying issues may be, targeting innocent women and men in their own homes is an act of cowardice that will never be accepted by our society, LNIF added. The LNIF firmly stands for a peaceful coexistence and mutual respect among the Nagas, but will not tolerate any force that undermines the rights and dignity of the Liangmay people, it added. In what may break the stalemate in talks to resolve the Meitei-Kuki conflict in Manipur, a delegation of Kizo Council will meet officials of the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA, in New Delhi on January 17. As per reports in the Deccan Herald, an 8-member team would meet the MHA officials and put forth their demand for a separate administration in the form of a union territory with a legislature in order to restore peace in Manipur. Confirming this, Ginja Volzong, a spokesperson of the council, a forum of major organizations representing the Kizo communities, told DH on Sunday that an 8-member team would meet the MHA officials and put forth their demand for a separate administration in the form of a union territory with a legislature in order to restore peace in Manipur. This is going to be the first meeting between the MHA officials and the Kizo organizations. Although the time and venue has not yet been finalized, all I can confirm is that our team will be endorsing the Kuki National Organization KNO and United People's Front's UPF demand, which is separate from the Manipur government by the Meiteis, he said. The KNO and the UPF, the two umbrella organizations of at least 25 armed groups representing Kizo organizations, have been in a suspension of operation agreement with the government since 2008. Leaders of the groups and their cadres are lodged in several designated camps in Manipur's Kuki-dominated districts. We will also press the government to resume the talks with the KNO and UPF as early as possible, said Volzong. A prominent leader of Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum, one of the associates of the Kizo Council, Volzong, will also be part of the delegation. The Kizo Council was formed in October last year as the highest decision-making body with representatives from all major organizations representing the communities. The development comes days after the council met the newly appointed governor of Manipur, Ajay Kumar Bala, in Churachandpur, one of the Kuki-dominated districts in which it stressed on finding a solution to its demand first for restoring peace. Now that the hills and the valley have been divided, the only thing left is separation in the administration. Only after the separation is complete, there will be peace, the council told the governor in a memorandum on January 7. Bala, however, told them to maintain peace for finding a solution. The union government in October had called the MLAs belonging to both Kuki and Meitei communities to New Delhi for a joint meeting, but the Kizo MLAs refused to share the dais with their Meitei counterparts and stressed the demand for separation. Organizations representing the majority Meitei community, however, are against the demands and seek abrogation of the SOO agreement with the KNO and UPF. They demand implementation of a national register of citizens in Manipur in order to detect illegal migrants belonging to Kizo Chin communities who, according to them, pose an identity threat to the Meiteis. Highlights so far, more than 250 people killed, over 60,000 displaced since May 2023. Kizo outfits demand separate administration. Meitei seeks abrogation of SOO with the Kuki rebel groups, and an NRC in Manipur. Kuki MLAs in October last year refused to take part in a joint meeting with the Meitei legislators at Delhi, 10 Kuki MLAs maintaining distance from Imphal and the assembly. Although the time and venue has not yet been finalized, all I can confirm is that our team will be endorsing the KNO and UPF's demand, which is separation from the Manipur government run by the Meiteis, Ginja Volzong spokesperson Kizo Council. Security forces in Manipur seized suspected opium from a two-wheeler at the Tihulin Naka checkpost in Senapati district, continuing their relentless efforts to evacuate drug menace from the state. One person was also arrested in this connection on January 14. Acting on intelligence information, the security personnel intercepted the vehicle and recovered opium, locally known as Kani, worth 2.037 kg, along with a mobile handset, one other car, one driving license, and cash worth rupees 2,000. The arrested person has been identified as Ramesh Kumar, 35. Following the arrest, the personal loans and investigation into the matter is underway. In another development, the security troops continue their search operations and area domination exercises in the fringe and vulnerable areas of hill and valley districts. They ensured movement of 213 numbers and 377 numbers of vehicles carrying essential items along National Highway 37 and National Highway 2 respectively. Strict security measures have also been taken up in all vulnerable locations, and security convoy is provided in sensitive stretches in order to ensure free and safe movements of the vehicles. Movement of 308 numbers of vehicles carrying essential items along National Highway 2 was also ensured. A total of 106 nakas or checkpoints were installed in different districts of the state, both in the hill and the valley. No one was detained by the police in connection with violations. Chief Minister Biren Singh on Tuesday said that, out of a sudden emotional outburst, people voted for the Congress in the Lok Sabha elections in Manipur, but its two MPs were not raising the state's core issues in Parliament. Addressing a party program in Imphal, he claimed that if there is no BJP at the center, Manipur will break. He also criticized the Congress for its silence on former Union Minister P. Chidambaram's suggestion of giving regional autonomy to the three major communities in Manipur. The mass, in a sudden emotional outburst, voted for them. However, have the two MPs said a word on Boulder fencing, FMR, free movement regime, and identification of illegal immigrants. Then how did they get elected? At such a critical time when many have been killed and displaced, how were votes given to them? I want to ask the people of Manipur, why were votes given to them? What are they doing now? Singh said in Manipuri. The MPs should speak in the House of core issues. What issues have the two MPs raised in Parliament? He asked. Attacking the Congress over Chidambaram's post on X that was later deleted, he said the party never gave any clarification on the issue. It was during his time that people from outside had signed the suspension of operations agreement, the CM said. They speak as if nothing is happening at the Boulder here. They are not aware of the rising demographic imbalances, he said. Singh said that the BJP has saved the state. If there is no BJP at the center, Manipur will break. Only the BJP has saved the state, he claimed. Those who love the nation and the land are supporters of the BJP, he asserted. Singh was addressing the Samvidhan Gaurav Abhiyan at Thambal Sanglane as part of the BJP's 15-day campaign to commemorate 75 years of constitution. The National Socialist Council of Nagalim, NSCN, has said it chooses to be assertive about the ground reality that Molham Kuki village is the main base of the Kuki militants, adding that NSCN is not blind to this. Our stand is open for public scrutiny and verification. Refuting the statement of Manipur police, it said that it finds ridiculously misleading that BSF convoys will be housed in Molham Kuki village. If BSF convoys are to be established in Molham Kuki village, then the collusion of the center and the state governments with the Kuki militants is a fact as made to believe for many years, NSCN-IM said. The NSCN-IM then maintained that Molham village only housed Kuki militants who number around 200. That Molham village is used as the headquarters of the Kuki militants is an open secret and anybody can cross-check it from the spot. Further, the NSCN-IM questioned if the Manipur police stands by their version that BSF convoys will be based in Molham Kuki village. It establishes another fact that Kuki militants would be based there disguised as BSF convoys. Another conclusion forced on us is that BSF convoys are there to guard the Kuki militants from the Naga army attack. Accountability and transparency, Manipur police is deliberately not showing up. They can fool the Nagas in particularly and the general public sometimes but not always. For further enlightenment to the public, it is pertinent to point out that one Bihar regiment camp is located at Karong River. This is where Manipur police is caught misleading the public with their concocted statement that those trucks are for CRPF at Molham Kuki village when there is no CRPF camp around there. Manipur police needs to break this trust deficit and re-establish its credibility, the NSCN-IM said. As many as 25 persons who are residents of various places in Tripura were arrested by National Investigation Agency NIA in 2022 and 2023. Data from the Tripura Legislative Assembly said that, as per the available records of the Tripura Police Department, 25 accused persons residents of Tripura have been arrested by NIA from 2022 to 2024. The report said that the persons were arrested for their alleged involvement in human trafficking cases from 2022 and 2023. The report further informed that in 2022, as many as 11 persons were arrested, while 14 persons were arrested in 2024. Among the persons arrested, 4 persons were arrested from Unakoti, 8 from West District, 12 persons arrested from Sepahizala, and 1 from South District. The government needs the cooperation and support of the armed forces veterans in improving the law and order situation in the state, Chief Minister Biren Singh said yesterday, adding that all positive suggestions and advice from the veterans towards restoring peace and normalcy in the state are also welcome. The Chief Minister was addressing veterans and their families at the observance of the 9 Armed Forces Veterans Day 2025 held at the 1st Battalion Manipur Rifles Banquet Hall in Falde. The observance program was organized by the government of Manipur. Speaking as the chief guest of the observance, Biren Singh highlighted the importance of Armed Forces Veterans Day and said it is observed to remember and honor the sacrifices of the armed forces for the nation. The Chief Minister further announced ex gratia of Rs 10 lakhs for soldiers who had laid down their lives on duty, further stressing that the government has already sanctioned Rs 3 crores for the construction of a memorial park for soldiers of the Indian Armed Forces from the state who have laid down their lives for the nation. The Chief Minister said a site measuring half an acre had been identified at Lamfelpad. Once the site is constructed, any day related to veterans and soldiers of the armed forces can be organized here, he added. And Biren Singh stated that the state has produced 2 army officers in the rank of lieutenant generals in the Indian Army. The Chief Minister said that he had met the commanding officer of a nuclear submarine who happened to be from the state, and also noted that around 350 from the state are currently serving as officers in the Combined Defense Forces. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Home Minister Amit Shah, the nation's dependence on foreign countries for procurement of defense machinery have minimized, he said. This was made possible through the implementation of the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, which aims to make the country self-reliant in its defense sector. He further praised 2 other natives of the state, Major Laisram Jyoti Singh, who sacrificed his life trying to protect civilians in Afghanistan, and Major Bob Kathing for the valor and courage shown by these officers while performing their duties. And Biren Singh further spoke at length on the need for people to understand the land's history properly and said that a 22-minute-long film, Chahi Taret Huntakpa, was recently released. This film, he said, will soon be telecast on History Channel. He further stressed the historical significance of the Chahi Taret Huntakpa and said that it was the signing of the Treaty of Yandabu that once again recognized the sovereignty of Manipur. The renaming of Mang Harit as Mang Manipur by the central government has shown the central leaders' care and in-depth knowledge of the state's history, Biren Singh continued. Further, the Chief Minister stated that the rejuvenation work of Lamfelpad water bodies extending to around 430 acres is being taken up at a project cost of around Rs 650 crore. The Zoro Reunification Organization Zoro and an Ijol Basjin Kuki Mizozomi group has urged the central government to reinstate the free movement regime, which previously allowed visa-free movement across the Indian-Myanmar border. Zoro also demanded the withdrawal of the newly mandated Boulder pass system for residents within 10 km of the border. Zoro President R. Sankawi told reporters that the Ministry of Home Affairs had introduced the new system effective January 1, replacing the FMR to regulate cross-border movement. Under the new guidelines, individuals will now require a Boulder pass issued by the Assam Rifles for a stay of up to 7 days. Sankawia said that this pass is limited to people living within a 10-km radius on either side of the border. According to the MHS December 2024 communication to Mizoram's Chief Secretary, the new system will be implemented in phases. Initially, 2 pilot entry points at Jokhotar and Naalan in Champhai district have been activated, with 3 more points planned for Longlai district under phase 1. 13 additional crossing points across 6 Boulder districts will follow in phase 2. To obtain the Boulder Pass, residents must provide proof of residence within 10 km of the Boulder. Acceptable documents include certifications issued by the local police station, village chief, or village authority. The MHA stated that the new Boulder Pass system aims to ensure India's internal security and maintain demographic balance in the northeastern states bordering Myanmar. However, Sankawa emphasized the adverse impact of the change on communities with cross-border ties, noting that the Boulder residents needs the FMR to visit for specific reasons such as visiting relatives, tourism, business, medical treatment, and cultural exchange programs. The deadly and destructive wildfires in Los Angeles that began on January 7 have reportedly claimed 24 lives so far. More than 12,000 structures have been destroyed and many are missing. Check out the devastating impact of wildfires in Los Angeles through pictures. The loss reportedly amount to $275 billion. Firefighters bombed fish to extinguish the last embers in the hills of Mandeville Canyon in Los Angeles, California. The Palisades fire burned part of the Mandeville Canyon on January 13, 2025. A huge village has come up on the sands of a Malibu beach, which is a temporary home to thousands of firefighters from all over North America, according to AFP. Nearly 5,000 first responders interact among trailers and tents. They are provided calorie-heavy breakfast by residents. A full moon turned orange due to the Eaton's fire smoke, rising above the Angeles National Forest mountains north of Altadena, California on January 13, 2025. Firefighters were battling devastating wildfires on January 13 that destroyed Los Angeles and killed at least 24 people. The danger still persists with expected strong winds that could aggravate the fire. Several homes and cars were burned amid the wildfires in Pacific Palisades, Bold Mobile Estates in Los Angeles, California on January 13, 2025. Firefighters tried to extinguish a fire at an apartment that burns during the Eaton fire in the Altadena area of Los Angeles County, California on January 8, 2025. Over 1,000 buildings have burned in multiple wildfires that have erupted around America's second biggest city, forcing tens of thousands of people from their homes. Evacuees from the Eaton fire gathered at a donation center in Santa Anita Park, Arcadia, California on January 13, 2025. U.S. officials warned that dangerous and strong winds were set to push deadly wildfires further through Los Angeles residential areas on January 12 as firefighters struggled to progress against the flames. The fire has reduced whole neighborhoods to ashes and left thousands without homes. Los Angeles wildfire, a week before the beginning of the catastrophic wildfire in Los Angeles, California, Mayor Karen Bass ordered an additional $49 million cut in the city's fire department budget, reportedly Daily Mail. The budget cut would have significantly reduced the fire department's preparedness to deal with the disaster, which has already incurred an estimated loss of $20 billion. Los Angeles Fire Department's budget cut would have resulted in shutdown of more than 15 fire stations across the city and severely limiting its emergency response capabilities. The Daily Mail in its report. The massive fire began on January 7, spread immediately across the city, and even forced several Hollywood celebrities to leave their home after the fire reached the Hollywood Hills. The memo of budget cut was sent to all the division chiefs and captains just a day before the Palisades fire broke out. The memo was sent after a tense meeting between Chief Christine Crowley and Mayor Bass. The massive fire began on January 7, spread immediately across the city, and even forced several Hollywood celebrities to leave their home after the fire reached the Hollywood Hills. The memo of budget cut was sent to all the division chiefs and captains just a day before the Palisades fire broke out. The memo was sent after a tension meeting between Chief Christine Crowley and Mayor Bass. The budget cut was ordered after the department had already faced a 2% reduction in its fund for the financial year 2024-25. The only way to provide a cost saving would be to close as many as 16 fire stations. This equates to at least one fire station per city council district, Daily Mail quoted A statement from the memo released by Los Angeles Fire Department. The People Defense Force No. 1222 Battalion under the Ministry of Defense of the National Unity Government has marked a significant achievement by completing its military TRI strategic training. The recent graduation ceremony, coupled with a display of weapons equipment, took place at their military headquarters in northern Shan State, Myanmar, showcasing their readiness and professionalism. Although the No. 1222 Battalion is based on the Mandalay region, it operates under the direct command of the National Unity Government. The battalion received military training from the Taang National Liberation Army (TNLA) as part of a strategic alliance. This partnership has enabled the PDF to take an active role in military engagement throughout the northern Shan State in collaboration with the TNLA, including a significant offensive that resulted in the capture of Mogoktang. The National Unity Government has recognized the urgent need to bolster its military capabilities and has escalated the provision of weaponry to its armed wing, the People Defense Forces, across various regions. The collective efforts of these PDF groups in their ongoing struggle against the junta regime forces in partnership with ethnic armed organizations highlighted a resolute commitment to liberating the country from the junta regime's rule. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.